another episode of Charm City Heavyweights podcast brought to you by the great folks at Grade 8 Sports Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, my co host, Josh Merrill. It is Victory Monday in Charm City. What's going on, Josh?
What's up, Matt? Coming live from the man cave, and I got like a little, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it a speech, but I got something to say. So,
All right.
I'm one of them fans. Matt, there's a delay with you. I'm one of them fans,
That's
man.
fine.
When the Ravens win, I immediately go to the uh, war rooms, like on Facebook. Like I'm part of the, AFC North trash talk. All these AFC North things, and all the Browns fans, and I'm friends with a few Browns fans that are friends with me on Facebook, and people I care about. But hey, look, the truth's the truth, and I tell you all guys the same thing: the Browns will always end up being the Browns. I don't care what you do. Uh, but their big thing was, Deshaun Watson didn't play, big whoop, all this bullshit. Let me explain. You're right, he didn't play. But what you guys don't want to admit and don't understand and act like it's bullshit, but it's not. We're missing our starting left tackle, our starting running back, our starting safety, $70 million safety, our starting damn near $100 million corner, our $100 million left tackle. Then we lose our fucking $15 million right tackle. Huge pieces, and I'm forgetting guys. I know it. Uh, huge pieces to this team. And, Watson didn't play, but that doesn't take away from the fact that our defensive line didn't absolutely destroy their offensive line. I got to think Watson would have had a few more drives, but to me, that game is still, put away. I don't see them putting up more than 24 points on us. I don't. The score may have been closer. It may not have been a blowout. It may have been a little more uncomfortable, or maybe it would have been a little bit less scoring. Who knows? I still think the Ravens would have won. That defense, the Browns guys we had on here, they were acting like I was the greatest defense that has ever stepped on the grass. And, it took the Ravens a few drives to get going, but once we figured it out, they looked like a basic defense to me. That's why you got to watch these early season stats because, it'll fuck you up. Like, you'll think it's the number one defense, but they may just, who had the Browns really played? I feel like today was, yesterday was their first real competition. The Tennessee Titans are terrible. The Steelers are terrible. Well, they lost to the Steelers, didn't they? Cincy is terrible. Sorry. And like I always say, Browns fans, you can get mad all you want. Lamar carved that defense up. Gus Edwards carved it up. Justice Hill carved it up. Mark Andrews carved it up. Guys were making plays all over the field. So fuck off and fuck you. We won, motherfucker. You're a sore loser. Take it. When you lose, you got to eat it. You know what I do when we lose to avoid all that? I don't get on the internet when we lose. I don't get in those sports chats for the entire week until the next game. I don't get on Twitter chats. I don't because I don't like but I like giving it out. Did we just go out and come back in?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, all right. You did too, motherfucker. Or maybe it's just because I went out, I saw you got. All right, man. Back to you. That was just my little address, my little speech, whatever you want to call it.
It's
Have you?
all
It's
good,
my
man.
feelings on it.
You're
Like, get
right,
over it,
and
you lost,
I really
motherfuckers. Like, get over it. I mean, like, why don't you guys worry about
you're
changing your
no,
uniform colors? It's shit stained. It looks like my damn tidy whities when I come home from work.
oh my god, never just stop. Oh my god. That just messed me up. But um I think that the Browns got a rough, you know, a rough hand dealt to them yesterday, considering the fact that there was all indication that Watson was going to play up until Saturday night, and then this kid that's never played in a regular season NFL game before is all of a sudden now the starting quarterback, and it's a hostile game. Roquan Smith gave them bulletin board material earlier in the week. Said we were going to go in there and slap them around in front of their wives and kids. And They went out there and did what they were supposed to do against a rookie backup quarterback. They overwhelmed him. They blitzed him. They were physical with him in the open field. They made him pay for every move that he made. They rattled his
I was
cage.
starting
He
to
was
have concern for the
making
young
mistake
gentleman.
after mistake. And, yeah, I mean, when he was in the open field, he was getting smacked, and
Oh, he was
the
getting.
defense was
I can
bringing it,
remember
and
at
there was
least
no other
7
way to.
smacks. That dude
Yeah,
was
he
definitely
just
not
had one of those
walking right
situations where it
when he
was,
woke up this morning. He was hurt. He
and
was hurt.
I honestly don't believe that Watson would have made too much more of a difference, but I believe
No.
that
Dude, he's
it would
played
have
halfway
been
decent. He's had
something.
like 9 fucking starts now. He's played halfway decent once. Once against the fucking Tennessee Titans, who were terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I get
He
it. I'm
sucks.
not saying
Like,
that
here's what
that's
he is.
not
He sucks.
true.
He was in his prime. He shut it down.
You
It's hard
know,
to turn that back on.
I get it. It's just one of those things where I don't understand how the Browns can make excuse after the fans are making excuse after excuse throughout the course of the last 24 hours when we have probably suffered more injuries than the entire league so far. And still went out there and we handled them. And I was honestly worried. I was completely worried, Josh,
Did we
when
say that when we lost to the Bengals in the playoffs last year with Huntley? Did we say that? No, we fucking lost. Nobody said it's because
no,
Lamar didn't play. We lost. Like, come on with that bullshit.
I,
That dude is an NFL
and
quarterback. He should be prepared to start every week. To me, that's a horseshit excuse you gave him, and their fans are giving him. He should be ready to play, or he wouldn't be the number 2. I
oh,
mean, your number two's got to
absolutely,
be ready to go. He's
he
in
was
there at the
the
drop of a hat. I mean, he could be in there again their next game.
right. It was baptism by fire, and there was nothing. There's no other way to put it. The dude was definitely just like the night before the game. He was like, "Hey, Deshaun can't go. You're up." And you got to be ready for that. You've got to be ready for worst
He
case
wasn't even close to ready.
scenario.
He
I need
wasn't
to
even
step
like
in. And you
rookie
got.
bad. He was like he wasn't even rookie bad. He was
I
like, I
mean,
don't
he
belong
got
at this
prepared like he was
level
starting
bad.
anyway, and he was getting first team reps.
Yeah. So, to me, I think they kind of knew Deshaun wasn't going. In my opinion, I think all the rest was horseshit. I think they knew all week Deshaun wasn't going. I mean, because he didn't
Yeah.
throw all week, Matt. He only threw like 3 passes all week. PFF
Miles
said
Garrett
he threw 3
absolutely destroy
passes.
the. Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, take what you want from it. PFF said that. I mean, to me, that says he wasn't going to play. But whatever. Let's move on. Let's start. Let's go into the defense.
Yeah, the D played lights out, man. They imposed their will. They were flying around the field. Patrick Queen is probably one of the best open field tacklers in the NFL right now. I saw a stat earlier this evening where uh, Roquan and Patrick Queen have already combined for 80 tackles through 4 games. They're
Oh yeah, they
they're
take
just
turns, bro. They take turns.
they take turns. They're
This
they're
week was
on
Rose
fire.
week.
They play. Yeah. Um, Roquan had a great bounce back. After I thought he played a little bit sluggish last week, he brought the intensity. He's a different dude,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah. He's a dog.
it's crazy. I'm not even gonna call him a dog. He's a monster. He plays with
Yeah.
a different level of intensity that you don't
And dude,
a lot of
Chicago has
NFL
not won a
defense.
game since they traded him to us.
Yes, they are 0-14 since they traded Roquan to Baltimore,
Yep.
and that quite frankly is sad.
Easy. Yeah, I
We're
like him. He
thankful for
talks
him though
shit,
because he's
man.
better than any second round pick we could ever gotten. I
Oh yeah. We haven't
He
had a
backs
player
it
like
up
that
though.
since Ray.
He definitely backs it up.
Oh, he talks
Jadavian
shit. Yeah, he talks shit every week, and he
Jadavian
quietly
Clowney.
talks shit. It's funny. Oh yeah, you did. Oh yeah, I'll wait for my turn. I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead. Where am I doing?
You're fine. Jadavian had another fantastic game. He didn't get he's like another guy that's like almost always there, but his pressure rate is sky high. He is getting to the quarterback. He's making them uncomfortable. He's moving the pocket. He is relentless in run pursuit. There was a couple plays that I looked at yesterday. Jadavian's running down running backs from the backside, and he's cutting across the backside of the entire offensive line, and he's making a play where they're only gaining a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards upfield. He did it to Jerome Ford a couple of different times, and it's like he motivated to play against Cleveland, but he is making plays that we saw him make at South Carolina, and I'm ecstatic that we're getting this kind of play from him. Kyle Van Noy, for being on the team for 3 days, had a fantastic game. You know, you can't really ask much more out of him for that. It also seemed like every time there was a big run play that got bounced to the outside, they ran at Jeremiah Moon, and
Mm-hmm.
that's to be expected. He's a second-year guy, and he's still kind of getting his feet wet in the NFL. But I liked what I saw out of the edge guys for the most part yesterday. Brent Urban had a pretty good game in the middle. Pierce and Matt Abike are continuing to still just dominate and wreak havoc in the middle of the defensive line. Brian Washington had a sack yesterday. I liked what I saw from the front
That
seven. They
was really
were
Clowney's sack,
unstoppable.
but Washington got it. Sorry.
Yeah, Washington got it. I mean, Clowney forced it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy with how Kyle Hamilton had another very solid showing after that incredible game against the Colts, and he's getting better every week. He missed one tackle yesterday. That's the first time I've seen him miss a tackle in the open field all season, and I think the defense is going to get a boost when Marcus Williams is back out there. Geno Stone's playing admirably at free safety. I will say that I'm getting more and more impressed with him as the weeks go by. He had another interception, and he returned it for about 35, 40 yards. Brandon Stevens making some heads-up plays yesterday. Ronald Darby is really good in coverage, and he's really good in defending the run. He had an all-around solid game yesterday. There's not really many guys on the defense that I thought, were subpar, for a lack of a better word.
I agree with you. Listen, man. So I told you earlier I had to apologize, and the reason I had to apologize is because you were way more excited about the Clowney signing than me. I thought he was more of like I didn't really think of him as a need, but I never expected him to play like he's playing, and uh I was reading about Clowney a lot today and watching some interviews, and I seen a guy. I can't remember his name, guys, but he was talking about Clowney, but he was explaining why we're seeing this explosive Clowney again, but he can't finish. And he explained it. He said, listen, he's playing a lot lighter than he normally does. So he's faster and a little bit quicker, but he lost some strength. So, and the reason why he had to drop weight was because he was at a higher risk. The more he weighs, the higher risk he is for injury in his legs, something with his legs. So he has to play at the weight he's at. And so I started like looking at pictures from last year to now, and he's a lot more leaner, thinner than he was last year. So he is, that makes sense when you think about it. So
It does.
he's right now,
I
but he's
mean,
playing like a young player again. It's I would have never expected in my wildest dreams for him to be playing as well as he is. He's like shutting
well,
shit down. He's wrecking havoc. He's in the backfield every fucking play.
well, if you think about it, and I'm not comparing the two at all, but go back to when Ray Lewis was in his prime and he was playing at 255, 260, and then he started getting a little banged up. He started getting the shoulder injuries, and he started, showing signs of slowing down. And then in that one off season, he cut 30 pounds off of
Yep.
his body frame, and he came back like he was a rookie all over again, out there making plays. So guys that reach a certain age, they do end up having to cut weight to save their legs and their knees and their back and that type of
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it even applies to us as we've gotten older. We've had to do it to save what we have left of our bodies. And Clowney's been an absolute disruptive force. I don't want to be that guy that said I told you so. And I'm not going to do that. I just thought that it was a really good signing. He's doing what I wanted him to do in the first place. He's not in here being a sack artist because that's never who he's been in the entire length
Never.
of his NFL career. He's setting the edge. He's playing aggressive run defending football. He is helping other guys get home, opening up pass rush lanes. And he played an important part in last week with Kyle Hamilton, where if Clowney's not getting attention on the edge, Hamilton's not running free because two out of those 3 sacks, Hamilton blitzed off of the Clowney's outside hip. So to me, he's doing what they needed him to come here and do. I think Van Noy
he's doing beyond. He's doing beyond. My concern with Clowney though is that he's playing a lot of snaps. That's the only thing I don't like. Can he do this?
What are you going to do right now?
I know, but I know. I understand that. It's just my worry. It's what I don't like because can he do this in December and beyond? I want to win fucking Super Bowl, man. I'm tired of being knocked out in the wild card.
So I want to win a Super Bowl as well. I just believe that he has no other choice right now. They've really been playing.
I know that, but
they've been playing Malik more inside than out. That kid Trenton Simpson hasn't seen the field except in cleanup duty.
Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible right now. Yeah, he's terrible. Look at him. Well, you don't watch the all 22, but man, I wish I could send you clips from it because on special teams he's completely lost. You don't even have to know exactly what they're supposed to do, and you can see that he don't know he's just running, man. He's just fucking running. I like him. I love that pick. And I hope he pans out, but that's a big jump from college to the NFL. We talk about it all the time. But let me finish my defensive breakdown, bud. I already talked about Clowney.
No problem.
Hamilton, yes, for me, that dude's a superstar. And whoever Mike McDonald's assistant needs to be copying everything he does, his every thought. Somehow get a chip in his brain because that dude's going to be a head coach soon. I'm hoping it's not next off season, but he's going to go. He's not going to be around much longer. He's a solid fucking coordinator. He's just solid, man. He just calls a good defense. He doesn't stick to one thing. His defense is completely different week to week, do a different thing, and it's amazing to see. But Broderick Washington, man, he got that sack, but that was Clowney sack. Clowney threw him into him, but Broderick, he was worth every penny he got. His extension, man, he's just a monster. Pierce he looks like the Pierce from a few years ago that got the big deal to go to Minnesota or wherever the hell he went. He's ridiculous. He's playing well. He's staying healthy. And this is a good defense, man. Marcus is real close to being back. Marlon's real close to being back. This defense can be really good. Look, this division is ours, and it's ours for the taking. Everyone lost yesterday except us. This division is ours, man. If we lose grasp on this division, then shame on us. This is ours. We're 3-0 in the fucking division. Let's go. Let's move on to the offense, Matt.
Not only are we 3-0 in the division, we're now going into Pittsburgh where we're going to be playing their backup. And now I'll admit he's a backup that I'm worried about because Trubisky almost beat us last year, and if it wasn't for Trubisky going down and Pickett coming in, I think we lose that game. And Pittsburgh has no identity on offense right now. They have, underperformed on that defense for the pieces that they have. So we're hitting Pittsburgh at a good time. And we need that momentum because Tennessee is coming alive. I know that they don't look like a really good football team right now, but they hit the Bengals for 130 yesterday and 2 touchdowns. So that's the next 2 games. And then we got Murderers Row when we come back from London. We got San Francisco coming up. We got Detroit coming up. I never thought in a million years.
Oh, yeah, schedule's getting tough. And, Harbaugh we have a real late bye week this year. Harbaugh, you have an option after if you accept the London game for a bye or to play, and Harbaugh elected to play the Lions, but he probably didn't think the Lions were going to be fucking 3-1.
Right.
You know what I mean? Probably
So
thought, well,
and
shit,
right
we
now
can ride through the
the
Lions.
Lions far and away look like the best team in the NFC North right now. So
Oh, they're solid. He's
I'm
a
not
good
saying
coach, man.
I'm
I fuck him,
he's a
but I like their coach.
Dan Campbell's a hell of a coach, and he's got them boys
Yeah.
playing for him at a high
And
level
now
right
they love
now.
him.
They
He's
love him
crazy as a
over there.
motherfucker. He's crazy as shit.
And I'm looking at what's going on with our guys coming back. It was nice to see Gus and Justice Hill out there.
Justice runs so hard, man.
He does. He runs almost so hard that he loses his balance sometimes.
He does. He slips.
That toss play that he had where he hit to the right side, where he hit the open field, he got so excited that he was out in the open that he tripped over his own feet. And I mean, he ended up getting 7 or 8 yards on the run, which is fantastic. But if he stays on his feet, that's a 25, 30-yard run. If not, he's taking
falls
it to the
a
house.
lot, man. That's because he cuts so hard is why he slips all the time.
He cuts hard.
He plants really hard.
Melvin Gordon had a good game on the offense yesterday, too. He had a beautiful catch from Lamar Jackson. Lamar had arguably one of his better football games he's ever played as a professional football player.
With pressure. They had some pressure a little bit.
Yes, he had some pressure. He got sacked a couple of times. The biggest thing that still bothered me with him, and I know I say this in the group chat, I said this on Facebook, I've said it on Twitter, the fumbles scare me because even though we won yesterday by 3 touchdowns, it's still worrisome because not every game is going to be that type of situation where that fumble is going to just be a bummer, but it could be a momentum changing, score inducing drive for the other team. And every game is going to, count from here on out. Like you said, you want us to take the division, bud. He's got to clean up the carelessness that he has with the football. There's no other way to put it. Even though he's got to work efficient in the passing game.
He's not consistently efficient in the passing game. He's every other game right now.
And the thing is, even with this new offensive coordinator, I wasn't expecting Lamar to go from 190 passing yards a game to 390 passing yards a game. His 300, 400-yard games are maybe once or twice a year where he's in a shootout. He just needs to protect the football, and the consistency will stay there. We can't have these fumbles. And I know sometimes you can't help it. Defensive players to strip when they're coming from behind the ball carrier, but you got to protect the football. Lamar Jackson is literally the only player on the Ravens team on the offense that can fumble at the rate that he's fumbling and not be benched and in the Harbaugh doghouse for the rest of the season. He's the only one. And if any other player on this team was fumbling like Lamar, they wouldn't be on the field. And let's just call it I'm calling it how I see it, Josh. And you can't tell me I'm wrong because we've seen over the years where Harbaugh has put good football players in the doghouse because they put the ball on the turf or the grass. He did it to Tyson Williams. He did it to Terrence West. He did it to Alex Collins over the years. R.I.P. Alex Collins.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he did it to Ray Rice when he fumbled because, I mean, we also had McGahee and Ricky Williams and LeBron McClain during those earlier years. But you put the ball on the ground in this Ravens team, you're generally sitting on the bench looking at everybody else playing. I want him to clean it up because that's part of the consistency is not turning the ball over. Turnovers just aren't interceptions. He might be more careful in his pass selection, and he's thrown a lot more shorter passes to get his completion percentage up and to get his confidence up, but he's still a fumble machine. He's averaging almost a fumble a game, and that's not good. And you don't need these consistent fumbles where you know that's how players do get hurt. when you got guys diving for a football and you're diving at guys that aren't paying attention, their ankles, their knees. It's all a domino effect. Lamar just has to clean that up. He's looking crisp on his throws downfield again. He's putting more touch on the ball. I still get nervous when I see him throw out routes and towards the sideline because it still looks like his passes are tending to sail a tad bit. And I'm more confident now that he's got a. It seems like he reconnected with Andrews yesterday. So I want him to just be mindful with that ball in his hand all the time, not just sometimes.
Listen, Matt, I'm gonna take a different, and I agree with you. The fumbles have to stop. It's going to kill us, and we're not going to get a Super Bowl if he doesn't get it under control. And it's weird because I'm not going to say it was never like an issue, but it's never been an issue where it was like every game. It's ridiculous. He has to work on it, do whatever he needs to do to fix it, and be smarter with the football. Other than that, man, I mean, the offense played extremely well. The line was beat up. They let some guys were playing some spots that probably shouldn't be in that spot. And they gave up a little bit of pressure, but Lamar reacted to the pressure well, unlike the week before, really. And he made a lot of the right decisions. He was extremely accurate. I can't wait. I'm gonna stay up tonight to start watching and checking out when it drops tonight at midnight. And I'm gonna go a different route with this, Matt. I'm a little bit worried. My worry is this. This offense that we're running right now, and it's working. We're 3-1, not complaining, but it's not that different than Greg Roman. We were concerned at the beginning of the year, like, where's Pat Ricard going to line up? We should cut him. We're never going to use him. He's going to ride. Pat Ricard is playing like a lot. But here's the thing, though. Let me finish. I truly believe right now that we're going, with the Romanish style offense right now. It's because of the injuries. I believe once Bateman and everyone is back, OBJ, once everyone's back, I believe they will open it up because they opened it up versus the Bengals. Maybe it's just a game-by-game basis. We're still getting used to this OC. I don't know much about Moncton. I didn't follow Georgia. I didn't know who the fuck he was when he was the Browns OC. So I don't really know his tendencies yet. But this offense is not what I picked. I just really didn't picture a lot of like design runs with Lamar. I just pictured, Lamar under the center a lot more. 4 or 5 wideouts, things like that. Maybe not be so tight end heavy.
But Monkey didn't do that in Georgia. He had 2 very good tight ends at Georgia for the entirety of his stay there.
But the whole hype all season was, oh my God, Moncton's going to be this spread quick offense. That's just the persona everyone gave it. I said I don't know how he was. I don't know how. I don't know his tendencies. I'm just saying what people were saying.
You're right, though. Part of it has to do with the injuries to the offensive line. We just got Linderbaum back a lot earlier than I was anticipating it, with it being a high ankle sprain.
He was playing hurt as a motherfucker yesterday, dude.
Right.
He still played well, though.
Riley's still out. Morgan Moses went down. So when you
Stanley needs to toughen up, man. I'm sorry, but I think he's being a little bit of a pussy. Like he's gotta come on, bro. Like it's time. Like come on, man.
I hear you. I hear you. But I hear you. But
get this fucking shot in your foot and play.
With us now being at our 6th and 7th offensive linemen on the depth chart, that's where we got to kind of make the decision to alter what we're doing. Fa'alele is not going to handle Myles Garrett in a one-on-one.
He can never play right
rush.
tackle ever again. Matt, I'm telling you, I mean, I haven't broke it down yet, but I'm telling you that was he was not. And I understand he was going against 2 elite pass rushers, but still, man.
You're gonna right. The thing is, he needs
but if you're not equipped to go up against the best, then what are you?
Miles
You
Garrett
can't
is
say,
the
"Oh,
exception to every rule.
I understand that."
Come on,
So?
Josh.
Hold
That's
on.
Miles Garrett.
Okay, did we
Miles
say that with
Garrett,
Jonathan
who
Ogden when he would shut down the White Freeney and whatever else? I mean,
hold
that's what
on,
we want.
hold
We
on,
want a
hold on,
pass
hold on.
rusher that can block.
Hold on,
Well, don't
Josh.
give me an
Hold
excuse
Josh.
that Cleveland has a star pass rusher.
Josh,
We
you're
drafted him to
comparing
stop guys like that. I'm not.
Josh,
I'm
you're
just saying we
comparing
drafted him
a fourth
to
or a
guys like
fifth
to
round
stop guys like
offensive
that.
tackle.
Right.
You're
Because he's the
comparing a
standard. I
fourth
mean,
round
he is
offensive
elite
tackle
pass
to the
rusher. He
greatest left
should be able
tackle
to
of all
stop him.
time.
No,
He
I'm not.
should.
I'm not comparing
He
them as
should
players.
be.
I'm comparing the situation. We drafted him to be good to block guys like Garrett. I mean, he couldn't touch Garrett. Thank God they were moving Garrett around.
Who cares? Show me an offensive tackle that can consistently block Garrett one-on-one. Please.
Okay, so you want to keep Falele out there. Moses is out 4 weeks. You want Falele out there protecting our $265 million
no,
quarterback.
I don't. I want us to go.
Okay, all right.
If that's the case, I want us to go kick the tires on Lyle Collins, or I want us to go call Taylor Lewan.
Then what's your argument?
What he's up to.
Then what the hell's your argument?
The thing is, my argument is you're saying that he doesn't need to be out there when a generational pass rusher. When I say generational, he is this generation's greatest pass rusher, and he came in the game halfway through cold. So yes, I do give him a mulligan for not being able to handle Miles fucking Garrett one-on-one. Josh, the dude is a Hall of Fame pass rusher, and the kid is a backup right tackle. If Falele was that good coming out of college, we wouldn't have needed Morgan Moses.
Then what the fuck's he on the team for?
Depth. He's a project. He wasn't drafted in the first or the second or even the third round. He was
I don't want a project out there blocking for our star quarterback because without Lamar,
that's why we had
nowhere.
to go to the offense that we went to. That's what I'm getting at. That's why we had to go with Ricard, and that's why we had to have two tight ends on the field to chip. Ricard and Falele can at least hold up Garrett long enough for Lamar to get the ball off.
That's true.
That's why they played that.
But it
offense
wasn't just this
yesterday
game, though.
for
We've
that
been kind of in
specific
this
reason.
offense a lot. I understand that, but with the
have.
exception of the Cincy game. Zay Flowers, by the way, I don't want to go too far crazy. Zay Flowers is a fucking monster.
He is.
I'm just letting you guys know right now. That
7,
kid is something.
He leads the league in missed tackles.
And he don't even know what he's doing yet, guys. Here's the thing. Yes, and he's making a few great plays a game. This kid does not know where to line up. See, let me explain something. The people who have the All 22 membership, here's something people don't understand that don't have it. Is like when you're watching the game on TV and then you got commercials or they break away to the announcers and all this. When all that shit's cut out, you can stay on the players. So like I can see where Lamar goes and who he talks to Harbaugh. I can follow him. I can see who he's sitting to with on the bench. I can do all that. And Zay is lined up wrong a lot. So like after every play, Lamar is like going over to him with commercial breaks, and he's telling him where he should have been and all this. So my point is, he's playing. He's a rookie, and wideout is one of those positions where it takes a few years for a wideout. It's a hard position in the National Football League, but he's So my point is, he doesn't really know what he's doing yet as far as this offense. And he's making plays. Imagine once he has it down, he knows exactly where he's supposed to be. Lamar's not telling him where to line up and what to do. It's a lot to learn, man. I don't think some people realize how much they had to know and memorize.
Put it into perspective, though. We drafted Zay Flowers in the first round of the draft. We drafted him for what he's eventually going to be. We knew it was going to be a little bit different for him because he's going from the ACC to the NFL.
Yeah.
We also weren't anticipating OBJ missing 2 of the first 4 games. We weren't anticipating to miss 2 of the first 4 games. He essentially missed the entire game last week. So
right,
it's definitely different when Zay Flowers was really wide receiver 4, even behind Aguilar, because Aguilar was
Yeah,
shot up the depth chart in the offseason and in the
yeah,
preseason. So yeah, it you know he's making plays not not really knowing where to line up in the offense and what his role is yet. But that's why the offense is relying on the run game right now. They're relying on the run game because they have to. That's their bread and butter. We know that this offensive line is going to run block. We know that Zeitler and Moses are going to pave the way. We know Linderbaum is a good run blocking center. John Simpson's a better run blocker than he is pass blocker. And then on the left tackle, whether it's McCary or Stanley, they're both decent run blockers. So yeah, you're gonna lean on those guys because you got to.
I
There's
love
no other
McCary,
way.
man. God, I love him.
If the running backs are getting 4 and
He's a
5 yards at a
stud.
clip, you don't go away from that. You don't go
Yeah,
away from that.
yeah,
You know, Gus was running with some authority yesterday. Justice Hill looks good. Melvin Gordon's hitting the hole. Like those three guys yesterday really were the reason why we didn't have to lean on the passing game for big plays down the field. Mark Andrews was playing inspired. He caught 2 touchdown passes. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
he had over 100 yards receiving.
yeah.
He found his groove with Lamar again. There's no reason why we got to run these intricate 4 and 3 and 5 wide receiver sets just for the sake of running them. You imposed your will on the Cleveland defense that was being hyped up as being the best in the league. You ran the ball right up the middle. You ran the ball down their throats. Lamar had 2 designed runs for touchdowns. It looked like a Roman-esque offense. But the thing is, that's what you do. You beat the shit out of the rookie quarterback. You run the ball. You break their spirit, and then you start
Exactly.
throwing the ball when the defense is starting to commit to the run. That's when you start throwing over top. Those 2 touchdown passes to Mark Andrews were the result of the run game being efficient. Those
Yep.
linebackers aren't sitting closer to the line of scrimmage and letting Mark Andrews get behind them if we're not running the ball down their throat. They're staying home. But they were cheating up towards the line of scrimmage. I watched the replay on Twitter plenty of times throughout the course of the afternoon. They were cheating up 2-3 yards closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating the run, and they went over top. Andrews beat 3 Cleveland Browns defenders
He
in the
did.
secondary for that first touchdown ball,
He
and then
did. That was a beautiful pass too.
Andrews ran up this. It was Lamar's best throw he's made all year. Then
Yeah,
on the second touchdown pass, Lamar's rolling to his left, throws across his body, hits Andrews
that
on a
was
dime
crazy. Yeah,
for another touchdown. And what's crazy is the second touchdown, Andrews had yak, and he hasn't been doing that at all lately that I can remember.
mm,
So
that's true.
we don't need this to be some spread offense where we're looking amazing and we're putting all of our speedsters on the field. Man, that was the game yesterday that you beat them into submission and you impose your will. And that's exactly what they had to do. And that's what they did. Whether it would have been
I
a
like
lights
that.
out
Hey,
there
each
or
game's different, man. Whatever it takes. I ain't complaining. I'm
it's
not
probably going to
complaining.
be the same thing next week, Josh. It's going to be the same
Probably.
thing next week because we have to go into Pittsburgh, hostile territory. You know, it's a division game. If we beat Pittsburgh on Sunday, we go up 3
Oh,
games
say
in the
that
division
for
on everybody.
you gotta save that for the Pittsburgh
I'm
show, bud. We're throwing the Browns.
I understand it, but what I'm saying to you is, I don't expect the offense to change too much. They're gonna run on the defense.
You
They don't
got
have
to. Yeah,
Cam
you gotta go up
Hayward.
there and run. Yeah. Like Ravens Steelers, man.
You're gonna go up there and you're gonna double and triple team TJ Watt, and you're gonna run all over them.
Yeah,
You're gonna.
we're gonna
I'm
fuck
not
them up.
expecting us to go 5 wide. I'm not expecting
No.
them to go 5 wide, my man.
But we have to. My
This
thing
is what
was we need to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Be able to go 5 wide in the playoffs and shit because that's when they fuck us up. We got to be able to do something different in the playoffs besides Andrews. But yeah, regular season, whatever. As long as we can adjust and when Andrews is taken away, we can go to everyone else, which I think he can. The Cincy game, he spread the ball around like extremely well, better than I've ever seen him spread it around. So I have faith he can do it, and
here.
I think he can
Yeah,
do it.
Here's my anticipation. We get the offense settled. We get our guys back healthy. And then once we get back from London and we go into the tough stretch against Detroit and San Francisco, that we assimilate OBJ and Bateman back into the offense and they play their role while Lamar's already hot. If Lamar maintains this, he's going to stay hot. So now, if this continues, it's not going to be a struggle the way that we thought. And then you can start putting more wide receivers on the field when Bateman and OBJ are healthy. Because right now, what you're doing is you're putting Laquan Treadwell, who just got activated from the practice squad, and you're putting Devin Duvernay, who hasn't really done much offensively, on the field with Flowers and Aguilar. So
Aguilar.
You can't go 4 wide with those guys. You can, but it's really they know what's coming. It's going to be a sweep or an end around or something like that. And thank you, Melissa, for the compliment of the Ravens back to being kings of the North. We are, and until we're proven otherwise, we look like the best team in the North right now. I know it's only been a month, but we've had one bump on the road, and that was last week. We were a pass interference call away from being 4-0 right now, and to me, I think that we did what we were supposed to do. We beat a lesser football team handily. I'm kind of mad at the defense because they dropped 4 more interceptions yesterday. They should have had 6 turnovers just on the picks alone. Roquan dropped 2 dead to right interceptions. I believe Darby dropped 1. I think Stevens dropped 1, and Hamilton got his first career interception, and we should have probably put up 40. We probably should have put up 50 points yesterday. And I'm not even exaggerating. We had 28.
We took our foot off the gas. We definitely took our foot off the gas.
And that's another complaint. And I know we're getting kind of late into the show, but that's another complaint that I have. When we go up, we get conservative offensively and defensively. Now, we didn't get conservative defensively because we attacked that kid all day yesterday.
And they knew he had no shot of scoring. They knew he wasn't scoring. Yeah. They knew he wasn't even getting in field goal range unless they broke out a run.
They pinned their ears back and they got after him. They made him run for his life, and he was running. Yeah. He was running for his life.
Yeah. And he knew before each snap, before he called hut, he knew like, damn, I'm about to get fucked up.
Yeah, he had that deer in headlights look. It was he knew what was coming. But I think that with what the Ravens did yesterday, they've done it every game this year. They get conservative offensively. When we came out in the second half, our first 2 drives, we punted the ball. And
well, when your defense is playing that well, you kind of got to get conservative.
But no, you don't. That is not the game to get conservative. After the Indianapolis game, you go out there and you impose your will every fucking drive. Every drive you go out there and you beat them into submission. Make them not want to come back.
They already did. They weren't even getting first downs.
But I'm talking about offensively.
I know.
Run the ball down their throat. Have these 6, 7, 8 minute drives. Get your defense rested, and when they're rested, they go out there and they handle their business. I thought we left about 2 or 3 touchdowns out on the field yesterday between the drop turnovers and the sluggish start to the third quarter.
Yeah, and Lamar said that during the post game. That's the first thing he said. That's one thing I noticed different about him this year with his post game pressers, man. Like when we win, like he's not all giddy like he used to be. He's just like no big deal. On to the next one, kind of Bill Belichick. Yeah, and I like that. Like when we beat Cincy, they were like, "Are you happy?" And he was like, it's one win. And he's right. So
Super Bowl to go get. I don't want him laughing in the post game pressers. I want him to be dead ass serious at what he's doing.
Yeah, me too.
I'm happy that keep it rolling. I'm happy he's taking it. The rest of the team needs to take the attitude that Roquan Smith has.
Yeah. And I know we gotta get ready to shut it down, Matt. Let's shut it down because I'm getting tired. But real quick, I do want to say something I hope does not continue next week. It was a trend that kind of started last week in the second half, and it was this entire game. Calls must have been getting in late. Harbaugh sent a warning shot out to the NFL. If anyone is smart, realize what he did. He said in the media the other day, yeah, they like to pipe in crowd music and all that. And he was saying it like nonchalant, but he knew exactly what he was doing. That was a warning shot to the NFL snitching on the Browns. And I could hear it. I don't know if it's because my sound system or whatever it was, but I could hear it
You
on
also
my
keep your TV
speakers.
on like 85 volume.
Oh yeah, during the game. Oh hell yeah, during the games. Yeah, hell yeah. But listen, and like you could hear it like loud, like music and shit during the down as Lamar's playing. Like you could hear the music and that's I don't know how that's legal. But anyway, let's shut this shit down, man. It's late. I got work early, man. Everybody on here's got to work. Let's get out of here.
Sounds good. We will be back on Friday night since you were out of town on Thursday. We usually do our pregame shows on Thursday nights. We will be back Friday night at 9:30. Our producer Adam, our favorite and only Steeler fan that we like, is
he's
coming
a cool
on the show.
fan.
It's going to be a sports talking it combination show under the Driving to the Top banner. And we are going to have
it's like the only bad thing about Adam. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can hate that. I mean, that's the only. Look, let me explain something to people. He's from Pittsburgh. See, I hate you motherfuckers that are from Baltimore and love the Steelers because that's just a hating motherfucker.
Fair enough. And we will have the Steelers Realm podcast joining the show to talk some
it's going to go down.
football.
We might get into a fight on here.
I shot my shot on Twitter to get Cordell Stewart to come on, so I'm going to see how that goes in the next 24 hours. Hopefully, hey, he played for both of us, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, he did. Now I like Cordell, man.
Shut it down, my man.
Yeah, shut it down, man.
Shut it. Let's just shut it down. You were about to go on a fucking rant again. Let's shut it down.
Good night, people. Ravens are 3-1, and Browns, you lost. Just get over it, man. You suck.